joining me again today. We are doing an example reading. This is a 29-year-old lady who asked about her many lines. She said she has so many lines that it's confusing. And what I found on her hand is an interesting reading for health and stress lines. So first of all, I would like to point out that whenever you do read about any part of the hand, including the health, that you should look at all the other lines. It'll be much better accuracy as far as the reading goes. The health lines. And on this lady's hand, there are many health lines. And these normally rise from the lifeline. But in her case, the health lines are rising well past the lifeline from the Mount of Venus, this area here. Now, because they come from the Mount of Venus, that shows that there is some digestive issues. So it's possible that she has been having some stomach-related issues. I have no idea if she does or not, but that's what it looks like. So maybe she is digesting the wrong types of foods and it's showing up in her health lines. It's normal to have just one health line. So usually the single health line would be around about there, like that. And if that health line has marks on it, like stars and islands and such, then that shows periods of when the health is particularly worse. But in her case, I can't specifically see islands or marks. There's just so many of them, that's all. Now, the stress lines are the lines which radiate. There are many kinds of stress lines, but these specific ones radiate from inside that Mount of Venus and they cross other lines. So this is what confuses many people. They wonder why their hand is covered in so many lines. It's due to stress. Now, some of these health lines might also be classed as stress lines because there are so many. Maybe there is some stress regarding her health. And I'll just rub some of them out. I shouldn't have drawn so many because I want to talk about the lifeline. So on this lifeline, there is a branch. Let's get rid of those. There is a branch. The lifeline seems to come to this point here, and then from this point there's a branch which reaches to the fate line, which is here. So that's indicating that there is some particular change in that time in her life. So what I will point out is the fate line at the same time seems to stop at a stress line. So there is a stress line that comes across and the fate line ends there for a time. If it's present after that, it's very faint. Now it does pick up again, so that just the timing of that is around age 28, 29, which is what she is now. So she might be at a time right now where there is some obstacle, maybe due to stress, maybe some other reason there regarding career or any part of the life. Now the fate line does continue from around age 35. So that shows that that little hiccup may last a couple of years. There's also another stress line that goes from the inside that reaches all the way to the heart line. And that's showing an emotional stress. So what it's doing as well as reaching to the heart line, it's forming like a thicker area of the line between the head and the heart line. And it's pulling at the headline. So it's like showing stress emotionally, and it's tugging at the headline for reassurance. So we've got a truck outside. I just keep having a look at what's going on. Yeah, so the headline is here, and see how it rises up and then goes back down. So this heart line up here is a very passionate heart line which curves up, but it's tugging at the headline, pulling it up. So the emotions are looking for maybe some kind of a rational or practical sort of thought to the emotions. So that might be part of that stress. Now with this lifeline, again, we just go back to that. I've written on there inner lifeline. So when she has this lifeline that seems to branch out to the fate line, that shows change. She does have 2 inner lifelines, and they are a sign of support. So she would have support during this time of change. And the timing is around the age of 40, 35 to 40, I would say. And that does make sense with the way that the fate line has that pause. So during that paused, missing fate line phase, she's going through some kind of a life change. It could be career related, it could be general life relationship, could be a major move in the house, it can be a variety of things. So it's never any one specific change as far as that goes. Now, so we've talked about the health lines, the stress lines, the branch on the lifeline, and the inner lifelines, the fate line. New lines forming often show up. She has new fate lines forming after the age of around 50. So the new lines often look very, very fine bunch of lines. So in her case, she has many fine lines rising to the Apollo and one rising to the Saturn. So they might not be visible for real, so I just quickly drew them. That's what they look like. In some cases, that fuzzy area is the line disappearing. It's like being rubbed out. But after carefully looking at it, it looks like a bunch of lines that are recently formed, and they more than likely will gradually turn into a proper fate line and a proper success line. So the line of Apollo is the success line. The reason there is so many of those lines is that she possibly is going through stress regarding her career. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed that quick lesson, and I look forward to doing another one again soon. See ya.